Every day across the state of New York, people from all walks of life from every region of the Empire State get up and get going. In the Bronx, 59-year-old John Pagan's routine includes brewing up a cup of coffee and walking his dog.
I got me a little Yorkie.
About 200 miles away near Watertown, Justice Mills, 27, has a similarly average routine.
I have a 3-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Today, Justice and John are not unlike many other New Yorkers, thanks in part to something they have in common. Both are clients of opioid treatment providers and receive medication for addiction treatment, part of their routine for recovery.
I was living the crazy life, the insane life that comes with using drugs.
We're a recovering addict.
When Justice Mills was in middle school, she was a good student and a basketball player. An injury on the court and a prescription for opioids set all the wrong wheels in motion.
I was in a relationship with my first boyfriend during this time, and he started to abuse them, and when he started to abuse them, I started to abuse them. I didn't want to come second to drugs, so I thought that if I did drugs with him, that I wouldn't be second to them anymore.
She tried to quit, but withdrawal symptoms were so severe, she felt she had no choice but to keep using. She stopped at nothing to get heroin until she hit her lowest point.
I was prostituting to pay for my habit. I met with a John in a bathroom, and he bashed my head off a sink and took the money and ran. And I was like, I am not doing this. I cannot live this way. This is crazy.
Meanwhile, John Pagan's story started differently. Born in Hell's Kitchen and raised in the South Bronx, John heard anti-drug messages very early. His father was a drug enforcement agent.
He was in the police force all his life. He never was there for us.
John says others were there who took advantage of his father's absence.
I was sexually abused when I was a kid, and that played a big role on why I started using. I didn't want to deal with life. I didn't want to face the pain.
John was addicted to heroin. He watched family members overdose and die, promised himself he was done with it. But the heroin had taken too strong a hold on him.
When an addict is in pain, that's the only thing we know is to go get high to cover the feelings. We don't like to feel pain. Like I said, I was confused. I didn't know what to do.
For John and Justice, different paths had led them to the same place. Quitting on their own did not work. Support groups helped, but not enough. It had nothing to do with willpower or being weak. They realized addiction is a disease, one that must be treated.
This treatment option works. It's better than trying to stop cold turkey.
Dr. Ernst Jean is the medical director for VIP Community Services in the Bronx, where John Pagan is treated and receives his doses of prescribed methadone. The reason a person develops an addiction to opioids is because opioid receptors in the brain become accustomed to unnaturally high levels of opioids. When those levels are not maintained, a person can experience intense cravings and severe withdrawal symptoms.
Given that heroin and fentanyl go through the body very quickly, one has to keep looking for them all day. And that makes it difficult to do anything else.
Methadone and buprenorphine have been successful in mitigating those cravings and withdrawal symptoms. John's treatment is part of his routine. Once a patient arrives at a clinic, there's a strict screening process to complete before medication is administered. In a matter of minutes, the process is complete. The patient can be on their way or attend group therapy sessions, like John does. In some cases, a patient like Justice can receive take-homes, a multi-day supply of their medication, a practice that increased in popularity during the COVID-19 pandemic and is based strictly on a patient's history with the program, and one that reduces inconvenience for the patient so they can get to work or focus on family responsibilities. For many, treatment is lifelong.
Opioid use disorder is a disease.
Dr. Daniel Paisanello, Medical Director of Credo Community Center in Watertown.
It's no different than someone who needs thyroid medication because their thyroid, which was producing normally at the beginning of their life, is no longer working. These people have a need for opioid that they didn't have when they were born.
Some people smoke, some drink, some use heroin or other substances. There is no shame in seeking treatment for heart disease, liver or lung disease, yet stigma surrounding treatment for opioid use disorder persists.
In fact, we're helping the problem because once people get stabilized on one of the medications we provide here, they're not out there trying to buy heroin, sharing needles, committing crimes to get money to buy drugs, and all the other bad things that we associate with drug use.
Our patient walking the street is no different than anybody else. Most of our patients live a normal life.
For many, normal includes medication, therapy, daily maintenance and treatment of a chronic condition to be able to go on living life on their terms, not dictated by disease or addiction. Eventually, it all just becomes part of their routine.
We do the laundry, we go shopping, she goes to cooking, and I go in the room, lay down and watch TV, or I'll sit outside and get some fresh air. I'll do what old people do.
I've had jobs, I've gone back to school, I have friends. I have 100% of my family back. They've forgiven me for everything I've done for them or to them. I'm healthy. I can do things that I couldn't do before. I have no problem admitting that I couldn't have done it on my own.
Today I'm able to live and enjoy my life. Recovery is possible.
If you or someone you know would like more information on treatment for opioid use disorder, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or visit oasis.ny.gov.